Backslash! I'm really feeling it!
Legend of Zelda, one of the best video game franchises of all time. Now, I wouldn't know much of Legend of Zelda if it weren't to be for my older brother, Brawl Guy, who's going to be doing this top 10 here with me.
Hi guys, so I helped with the editing and the actual list itself, so I think we should get started and go to number 10.
Number 10.
The number 10 spot in our list goes to Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages, both at number 10. This may have been the last two games of the Game Boy Color, but who knows, it might just be the best.
Who knew, with the help of Capcom, that Nintendo would make two of the best games of that time? The game has similar gameplay to another game that we'll get into later.
In both of these games, the Triforce sends you to someplace new, not knowing what the plot is. The plot is found out after the end of the game. However, this has wonderful dungeons, wonderful puzzles, and a flawless overworld to look at. And it only reaches to number 10.
Being that this is only number 10, it ensures that the series shares something.
Number 9!
Now, for number 9, we chose Link's Awakening. So, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages took the same gameplay of this. You see what I mean now?
Being on a small console or a handheld, nobody knew that this game would have been so good.
This game had beautiful colors, beautiful gameplay, and a fantastic open world.
Towards the middle of the game, there is a plot twist that questions what you are doing is either right or wrong.
Link's Awakening was incredible, but there's still more to cover.
Number 8.
The original Legend of Zelda has to be on the list. Now, this is the second best NES game, second only to Mario 3.
This game is known to be one of the most revolutionary games of all time. Not only was this game one of the first overhead views, but it was also the first free ROM game where you can go wherever you want. There's no anything telling you what to do. It was also the first game that you were able to actually save your game. So now when people argue that Zelda's bad, just say, be happy you're able to save your game. It was the first Zelda game to be brought to the table, as it was revolutionary and one of the best.
Number 7. Our number 7 spot is Twilight Princess, released for both the GameCube and the Wii.
People would argue that this is just a dark, boring, and a slow game for the Legend of Zelda franchise. But however, it's definitely the most beautiful and biggest open world to look at.
Turning into a wolf was satisfying and awesome to watch. Not only was this the biggest Zelda game, but it was also the longest.
Twilight Princess had the most advanced combat, being that you were able to run and slice your sword, and that you were able to ride your horse and slice your sword at the same time, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Number 6.
Despite having negative reviews from the few trailers that they released, Wind Waker actually became one of the best Zelda games due to its awesome graphics.
But the graphics were so bad, they had an HD remake.
Yes, it was criticized for its graphics, but still, some parts of it was just more beautiful than it seemed from the previous trailers.
Yeah, I guess, but some parts were awesome, like controlling the wind, and it had awesome gameplay. But one thing, the Zoras were changed to random birds. Like, really?
Number 5.
Now, Skyward Sword was one of those Zelda games that you either liked or you really disliked it. We really liked it.
Skyward Sword was one of the most unique Zelda games.
This game was really unique because it had a very different overworld than any other Zelda game. And in this game, you actually care if you save Zelda now.
The reason for this is because Link and Zelda really have a good connection and relationship with each other. Examples of this is in the beginning of the game, or then towards the middle as well. You and Zelda start playing around with your whole bird thingy. This game had awesome level designs and awesome bosses to fight at the end. Some might say that the open world is rather small when you fly with your bird, but I see it, and so does DPX. We see it as a nice open world and very fun to explore.
But one thing, stupid feet. Number 4. Some would say A Link Between Worlds is too similar to A Link to the Past.
However, it doesn't mean that this game is unique. In fact, it's the exact opposite.
Is that even a word?
Shut up.
There is a reason why a handheld Zelda game is very high up on our list.
Not only was this game very fun to explore, but you were even able to go through the many dungeons in this game.
And in A Link Between Worlds, Link was able to merge against a wall and able to move.
This brought puzzles to a whole new level and an awesome transport to a different world, as there would be little cracks to go through.
Also, the whole renting items thing was a whole lot of fun. Number 3! Majority of the Zelda games revolve around this game, A Link to the Past.
It was very hard determining between 2 and 3 and where the places should go, but in the end we found a solution.
After Zelda 2, which was brutally difficult and kind of weird for the Zelda game at its time, this game brought it back to its roots. Many of you guys were probably thinking this game was going to be at number 2, but we got something better at number 2, well, at least according to my brother, which I would think differently.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. In all serious though, it was your fault too. It was your idea as well. This game even inspired A Link Between Worlds and Link's Awakening, which inspired both Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. So yeah, it's pretty inspirational. Number 2!
Our second spot goes to Majora's Mask.
Although a lot of materials from a perfect Zelda game was missing in Majora's Mask, it still made up with a lot of unique things at the end. For an example, it lacked a lot of dungeons, but it still made it up with a lot of side quests to do. It also lacked a lot of items and dungeons, but however, the new masks and all that made it awesome.
Not only is it the most unique Zelda game, but it also shares the same gameplay as our number 1 spot.
DPX, you weren't supposed to tell everyone that. Now everyone knows which is number 1.
No, dummy. It's kind of obvious what the number 1 spot is. Everyone knows it's...
Oops. Sorry, just punched him in the face.
I'm so lost.
Turning into a Deku scrub may have looked lame at first, but in the end, with the bubbles and the spinning thing, was awesome. Because, hey, it was very awesome for a new Zelda game.
Turning into a Goron was also awesome because you got to roll and punch the living crap out of a bunch of people. Being a Zora was awesome to swim underwater and awesome to fight as.
And don't forget the fact that if you get all of the masks in the end, you get the Fierce Deity Link, which was not only awesome, it was fun, and made the final boss easy as hell. Now, that is all of Holy, one of the best Zelda games of all time, in most opinion, and arguably one of the best games of all time. Here we have for you number
1.
Yeah, number 1, really, because, yeah, it's obvious.
When you clicked on this video, you definitely knew this was going to be number 1.
It is highly regarded as one of the, if not the best game of all time. And listening to the credits, it is easy to understand why.
What makes this game so great is that there's nothing to complain about.
The graphics were amazing for its time. The gameplay was absolutely fun. And the whole game was just a wonderful adventure.
It had intense difficulty, awesome level design, and a very hard boss fight.
Amazing as this game is, no other game can come close to it, even as today's standards.
Thanks for watching this video. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time where I do top 10 swordsmen in video games. This actually took us 2 months to make, but nonetheless, we're finally done with it.
Yeah, so since it took 2 months, our number 10 spot was actually made about 2 months ago. So yeah.
Depending on when you're watching this video.
Well, when we started it, it was still...
Yeah,
from then to now, it was 2 months. So yeah, what he said, hope you'll like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.